It's the final week of the regular season. You're watching Picks with David. Thanks for joining me for another edition right here on YouTube and Facebook. And we've got 5 games, all with playoff implications to discuss. But first, hey, I missed out on Saturday. We had a couple of really great games. Pittsburgh is in the chance here to possibly make the playoffs. They need help today, but they got a victory over the Baltimore Ravens. And then last night, the Houston Texans defeated the Indianapolis Colts. So they are in the playoffs. And depending on what happens with the Jacksonville Jaguars and Tennessee Titans, a game we're going to look at, Houston could end up being the AFC South champ. So let's begin with that game between Jacksonville and the Tennessee Titans. The 9-7 Jacksonville Jaguars visit the 5-11 Tennessee Titans. And Jacksonville needs this victory to make sure they get in the playoffs. If they lose this game, there's a really big chance that they don't make it to the playoffs this year. So they need to win, and by winning, they will secure their spot, not only as the AFC South champion, but also the 4 seed at a home game in Jacksonville next week. Tennessee comes in a battered and broken team. Mike Vrabel, the rumors are that he wants out as the coach there. He's not happy with the direction of the franchise right now. Will Levis will not play. So, you're looking at, I think Ryan Tannehill is out as well. So you may be looking at, Malik, Malik Willis, I think is his last name. But, you're going to be looking at him. Jacksonville has Trevor Lawrence coming off of injury. He's questionable to play, but I think he's going to play because of the importance of this game. Take the Jacksonville Jaguars to win in our first game of this weekend. The 7-9 Chicago Bears at the 8-8 Green Bay Packers. And the Chicago Bears have a chance to play spoiler here. Last year, the Detroit Lions knocked Green Bay out of the playoffs, and they have risen to the top of the division. Chicago has really started to come on over the last several weeks. Here's an opportunity for them to show that going forward, they don't need to fire the coach. They need to keep Justin Fields. This could be a statement game for Chicago. Green Bay needs to win. If they win, they're in the playoffs. Right now, they're borderline in the playoff hunt. And so, both teams, looking forward, Green Bay needs this win in order to make the playoffs. Chicago can play spoiler and look to the future. I'm going to take the Chicago Bears. I like their defense. I think that Green Bay's defense is weaker than Chicago's. I like the mobility of Justin Fields. I think they have the opportunity here to spoil it for Green Bay. They're used to playing in the elements, so it won't matter that they're playing on the road other than the home field crowd and the noise that they can make. But I'm taking Chicago over Green Bay today. The 11-5 Dallas Cowboys at the 4-12 Washington Commanders. Dallas could secure the number 2 seed in the NFC with a victory today in Washington. They'll get the NFC East title, the number 2 seed, which basically guarantees them 2 home playoff games should they continue to win in the playoffs. Washington doesn't have really anything to play for. In fact, they probably want to keep their draft position that they have right now. And so, I think that this should be an easy win for Dallas that will be playing at full strength, looking to secure that number 2 seed. I like the Cowboys and their overall team on the road today in Washington. The 11-5 Philadelphia Eagles at the 5-11 New York Giants. Philadelphia has struggled down the stretch. But in the event that Dallas were to lose against the Washington Commanders and Philadelphia were to win the game today, they would secure the NFC East and possibly the number 2 seed in the NFC. However, I just don't see that the team is getting better. I think they have grown old and tired. There is a lot of dissension in the ranks, if you will, in the locker room. The Giants have been playing people extremely tough. And with the Giants playing at home, Philadelphia going on the road here, it's not out of the realm of possibility that Philadelphia has a big game and that they get into the playoffs. But with Dallas, kind of playing at the same time, if it looks like that Dallas is going to blow out the Commanders, the Eagles may decide just to go ahead and take their starters out and get them rested in preparation for the playoffs. I think this is something that definitely could happen. The Eagles are in the playoffs no matter what. It's all about getting that number 2 seed in the home field spot. But I think that if Dallas is playing well against Washington, they are going to pull their starters. And I think the Giants are going to win the game today against the Philadelphia Eagles. Looking forward into the next season. Game of the day, of course, is the last game of Week 18 Sunday Night Football. The 10-6 Buffalo Bills at the 11-5 Miami Dolphins. Buffalo must win to get into the playoffs. And I think that they have a really good opportunity to get a victory today on the road against the Miami Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa and the Dolphins, when even at full strength, are 1-5 in the last 6 games against the Buffalo Bills. And so, even though Miami is playing at home, they have a high wire act of an offense. Buffalo has been playing much better and have really, powered through the last month of the season to get themselves in this position. The winner of this game will be the number 2 seed in the AFC, guaranteeing themselves 2 home playoff games should they win throughout the playoffs. If Buffalo loses, Buffalo is out of the playoffs thanks to wins by Pittsburgh and Houston, along with the chance that Jacksonville beats Tennessee. Now, if Jacksonville loses, Miami could still get in the Buffalo could still get in the playoffs. And so they're going to know by the time we get to the Sunday Night Football game whether or not Buffalo has any chance of getting in should they lose. I think that means that Buffalo puts all their chips on the table and they'll get a victory today on Sunday Night Football in Miami. Buffalo secures the number 2 seed and the AFC East title. Miami clinches the number 6 seed and will play at the Kansas City Chiefs in Wild Card Weekend. So there you have it. 5 more picks with Dave here on Facebook and YouTube. I'd like to thank you all for joining me during the season, and I look forward to having you join me again next week as we preview Super Wild Card Weekend right here on Picks with David.